Sisters who watch. Sisters who watch. Sisters who watch.
Olympics.
Hey y'all, hey. Welcome to Sisters Who Watch.
I'm Shelby.
And I'm Laura, and we're sisters who watch everything. TV, movie, sports, concerts, and even 2 weeks of the Ultimate Athletes competitions and face cards.
That's right.
We love to watch, and we love talking about it even more. Today we're watching
The
Olympics.
Yes, that's right. The 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris, France. Oui, oui.
Bonjour. That's it. And before we get into our deep dive of the Olympics, please make sure you're giving Sisters Who Watch 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yes,
5
please.
stars, please. And give us a follow on all our social media platforms at Sisters Who Watch. And you can support us by buying our merch on our website. And you can Zelle us. We have listener support on Spotify. Thank you so much for your support, y'all.
Appreciate y'all. We're so excited. We're together. So if you're watching us, there aren't multiple boxes.
Yes.
We are here in person recording in LA. And let's dive in to this very exciting episode about the 2024 Summer Olympics. So, background, the Olympics, right, brings all the best athletes together from around the world, various countries to compete. The last Olympics was in Tokyo. It was supposed to be in 2020, but of course, due to the global pandemic, was pushed to 2021. And that Olympics didn't have any fans, didn't have family, right? No audience out of precaution. So it kind of like came and went, fell a bit flat.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
Right? Like, don't remember much about it. So for that reason, I think there was a lot of people excited about 2024 Summer Olympics. You know, first real Olympics since COVID. There's a lot of like support and energy around it. And of course, right, it's in Paris, which has previously hosted the Olympics in 1900 and 1924. So now Paris has become the second city, in addition to London, to ever host the Summer Olympics 3 times. So some history being made.
All right.
Yes, in 100 years since the last time it hosted in 1924. So Paris, you know, in France was making a big deal about that. And I actually saw a French documentary about the history of the Olympics in France in Cannes this year.
Yes, she did.
It did. It was called Olympique. It was the premiere. They had all the athletes come, and it just showed like the history of the Olympics in France. And like, one of the founders of the Olympics was French, and they use a lot of like French music and language throughout. So there's a rich history. Yes, oui, oui.
I'm glad you enjoyed that doc. And as we both know, NBC has the rights to the Olympics, which is huge. It's been on NBC since as long as I can remember watching
They
the
spent
Olympics.
a lot of money to have it.
Yes,
for sure.
So, and it felt like the first year that Peacock was used for the Olympics, right? Because Peacock was only
They technically
introduced.
had it in 2021,
Right,
but
right.
barely anyone really had Peacock then.
Right.
And this year was the first year where they really had the big push for Peacock. More people have been using it. Like, we have been using Peacock all summer for the LVIII USA. So it felt like there was a bit more support around Peacock.
Yes, I feel like everyone was talking about Peacock and
Yes.
like the quadruple screens and the primetime and like Peacock, you could hop around to all the different sports and it highlighted. And I remember seeing a tweet being like, wow, shout out to Peacock. I've never seen so many different types of Olympic sports. Because right before, you're just kind of channel surfing.
Yes, going
You're
from
like, oh,
USA
okay,
to NBC.
to E,
Yeah.
you know? So it was a lot easier to discover and watch all kinds of stuff on Peacock, which is great.
Yeah, I was impressed. And
Yeah.
Peacock has been the butt of a lot of jokes in like the streaming wars. But I do think their success with the Olympics is boosting them up, at least for me.
Yes.
Between the Olympics and LVIII this summer, Peacock is doing it.
Peacock summer. That's it.
Summer of Peacock.
What were your expectations coming into the Olympics this year?
Well, you know, we're big sports fans and former athletes. So I, in particular, was excited to see the sports like I played growing up or the sports that I tend to watch throughout the year, like basketball. Also, having played volleyball, I'm always curious like how volleyball is, particularly indoor, not beach. I think beach is just not the same. And I also think track and field is always fun.
Yeah, I feel like the Olympics are fun, but I've never been someone who's like, oh my gosh, I love the Olympics so
Yes.
much. So I wasn't really, I was like, oh, maybe I'll watch. I don't know. But it felt like everyone was watching and talking about the Olympics. So I think I got more into it as time went on.
Mm-hmm.
And breakdancing, I feel like everyone's talking about, oh, breakdancing. It's the first year that breaking is in the Olympics. So I remember hearing that and being like, oh, fun.
Yeah.
And of course, Steph Curry, first time in the Olympics. So we were excited to see him. Go Warriors. And Simone Biles. I mean,
the GOAT.
That's it. That's the tweet. Everyone is always talking about her.
Mm-hmm.
So we were excited to see gymnastics and Simone. So that's kind of the expectations.
Yeah. And I will say, like, our family, particularly our mom and brother, were very excited for the Olympics. They were watching the Olympic trials for the U.S. Like, they were very into it. So I do think there is, like, a pocket of people that are really into certain sports, whether it's, like, swimming or gymnastics, that this is their moment. Because most of the time, you don't really see gymnastics or swimming featured on TV beyond the Olympics. At least I don't. Like, where would you watch gymnastics just in general?
Yeah.
No,
that's so true. Speaking about gymnastics, onto our favorite moments. I mean, just Simone Biles, watching her and the women's and the U.S. women's gymnastics team.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing them get gold again after getting silver in Tokyo, the last Olympics, was so exciting. Suni Lee, I mean, I didn't know who she was, but I feel like she really blew up this Olympics. Jordan Childs really blew up this Olympics. So just seeing, like, the excellence and seeing them win gold again, and just, that was so exciting.
The Golden Girls, they were the oldest U.S. gymnastics team ever, which is crazy because they're all, like, mid-late 20s. But they crushed it. And
I feel like the standouts, we love the floor routine. That's always so fun. Jordan Childs did like a Beyonce mix, which was so fun. And Simone, whenever Simone does that like crazy flip in the air, I can't, it is so good. Term, it is so good. Something else with gymnastics. Steve, the pommel horse guy. Have you heard about Steve?
I have.
Superman?
The guy with the glasses.
Everyone's calling him Superman. He's blown up.
Yeah.
He's become a meme. What do you think of Steve?
I love it. Good for him. I feel like when else would he get this much attention? Also, in particular, like U.S. men's gymnastics has historically not been that good, but this year they kind of had a moment. Usually the women's gymnastics was all the love, but the men brought it this year.
Yeah. Everyone was talking about Steve. I remember my friend was like, have you heard about Steve? Who are you talking about? And then they showed me, he was trending online, the pommel horse guy, and he helped the men, win a medal with his pommel horse. He does just one thing. And everyone's talking about his girlfriend now. Like, his girlfriend was all over my feed. Yes, I was talking about Steve's girlfriend.
I missed that.
So, yeah.
I guess
go check out Steve's
the most eligible bachelor he's taken.
Yeah.
In particular, I felt like it was great to see all of the Black gymnasts. Like, I just felt like, wow, Black women are really shining.
Yes.
And the shot where Rebecca from Brazil won the gold, and you had Jordan and Simone in silver and bronze, like bowing to her. I was like, oh, you love it. Just Black women supporting Black women, just Black excellence everywhere.
Yes. The first all-Black podium in gymnastics history. Well, asterisk.
Yeah.
At least we got the picture.
We have the photo. She may not have the medal anymore. But we
boo Romania for challenging Jordan Childs.
Yeah, I don't really know the details. I just know that she lost the bronze.
Yeah, after Romania submitted a challenge against Jordan Childs. You hate to see it, but we got that picture, and that
will be in the history box.
And that will be in the history box.
In general, though, there were so many Black women and Black people shining. So beyond gymnastics, track and field, I feel like is where we tend to thrive.
Yes.
You had Sha'Carri Richardson. After, not being able to compete in the Tokyo Olympics, she was back for Paris and was able to medal multiple times. You had Sydney McLaughlin, who crushed it in hurdles and got a world record. And then Gabby Thomas, who went to Harvard and is like a model, won her race in track and field.
Amazing.
It was just like Black women winning.
Yes.
Summer of Us. Basically Black History Month all summer long.
Yeah, it's Black History Month again. Love it. And I saw a stat online that 65% of the gold medals won for the U.S. were by women. So we won like by far the majority of the gold medals. It really felt like just women were eating up the entire time. And it's just like,
we
wow.
can do it all.
It was so exciting.
Be athletes and be president.
Yes. I feel like it's so cool at the Olympics. Like, all these really, all these women are celebrated. And I love seeing, like, women being, like, strong and, like, having abs and, like, muscles and that being really celebrated.
Yes.
It's just really cool to see, like, women with, kind of different bodies.
Yes.
Because, like... in
society, it's the twigs.
Yes, it's, like, slim,
Or the curvy girls that got implants and BBL. Not even natural.
But no, we're seeing these jacked, muscular, strong woman with, like, cut. I just loved seeing that. I was like, wow, she's so strong. Look how amazing she is.
And there was even, like, a pregnant woman competing, I think, in fencing. I was blown away.
Oh, I heard
about that.
Yes, I did.
I'm like, you go, girl.
Imagine.
Pregnant and competing in the Olympics.
Incredible.
You can't make it up.
Incredible.
And then, did you hear about this American woman who surprised in winning in one of the bike races? And she just started to bike working in New York City, and now she's an Olympian.
I did see that headline.
I was like,
so it's like, oh yeah, this American just won, and she just picked up biking as a hobby.
A few years ago, while she was like working in venture capital or banking. I was like, women really do it all.
I know.
That's right.
Yeah, I feel like we really killed it this Olympics. Yeah,
killed it. Speaking of someone who killed it, Noah Lyles and his photo finish in the 100-meter race was a highlight. Really blew me away. I'm sure you all know Noah Lyles. He has a lot of personality, talks a lot of trash, very confident. More power to him. He was saying he's the fastest player in the world. He was saying that he's going to win all these races. And he just won the 100-meter. It was crazy.
Yeah, photo finish. It was so cool seeing the clip and no one knew who won.
And they were looking at the screens like, who won? Who won? And then when Noah found out he won, he was like, I told you, America. I told you. His confidence came right back.
I can't.
It was hilarious.
And his 200 also, caused some...
A stir.
A stir.
He got bronze, so he came in third. So he wasn't able to do the double gold, which he was hoping for. The stir came because apparently he was racing with COVID and then collapsed into a wheelchair. If you test positive for COVID, shouldn't you not be allowed to race?
I also was like, how is that even allowed?
Yeah.
Why is he racing?
That just seems like a super spreader moment.
And then upon completion of the race, you collapse into a wheelchair.
And you like have asthma. Like, this is really dangerous. Like,
and you see like the picture and he's like fallen back in the wheelchair. You're just like, this
isn't good. Like,
what is going on here?
The Olympic Games Committee, they should be glad that he's okay. Because imagine if on their watch something happened to him because he was racing with COVID. They better have insurance for that. Sign a waiver.
Yes. I know you really also loved all the basketball.
Yes. So that was what I would watch consistently. I would see when they were playing, and I would watch the basketball games. Because what's great about the USA men's and women's basketball teams is basically all-star teams. It's like the best players in the WNBA and NBA playing together. And everyone was freaking out because this was the first time Steph Curry was playing in the Olympics. It was the first time in two Olympics that LeBron was playing. And KD was going for his like fourth or fifth straight, something crazy. So you had these icons, Steph, LeBron, KD, all playing together, given they've been rivals, particularly Steph and LeBron. And then you also had a lot of young stars like Anthony Edwards and Tyrese Halliburton and Jason Tatum. And it was just like a great team. And people were saying, not like the Dream Team from 92, but close in terms of talent. It was one of the more talented men's basketball rosters in a while. In the beginning rounds, they weren't competitive, but once you got to the medal rounds, the game versus Serbia and the game versus France, unreal. Absolute cinema. And then the final against France, in France, that game was crazy. And we saw the fourth quarter where Steph hit 4 threes in a row.
In like a minute and a half.
So dramatic. And the last one, he was like double teamed and like off balance and made it. I'd never seen anything like it in my life. And people were saying it's one of the best threes ever.
Wow.
Like, truly.
It was very dramatic.
Amazing. And then to win the gold. So it was great. All the men's basketball games were great. The women ended up winning as well. Their 8th straight gold medal.
Unreal.
Like, just love how dominant the Americans were in basketball.
And another women's team. I feel like the women have just really been killing it. The women's soccer team, a lot of people were talking about the women's soccer team, right? We have Dennis Rodman's daughter on the team, and she was, going viral.
I don't think I knew that.
Yes, she has like these long pink braids, and a lot of people were talking about Dennis Rodman. I was on a plane watching the gold medal match. And yeah, the women just killed it. They won, and it was like so emotional, and I feel like that was a trendy team people were talking about. I was seeing it all over Instagram, especially, Dennis Rodman's daughter on the team. Yes.
And that's great because the men's soccer team really struggled.
Yeah,
so
men's soccer is not
good to see, the women have a moment. Speaking of women, the women's indoor volleyball, so good.
First of all, watching volleyball.
Indoor volleyball is just so fun to watch.
So fun to watch.
So it just so happened, I felt like usually when a basketball game would end, they'd just turn to the volleyball game. I was like, thank you, Peacock. Perfect. So I would just end up watching a lot of the volleyball, and it was so entertaining. It made me want to play volleyball again. Yeah,
we both played volleyball growing up, and I still play it sometimes, but it's such a fun sport to watch. And it's not really on TV. You can't, so I love watching indoor volleyball.
And you like the breakdancing too, right?
Yes. Okay, so as we mentioned, a lot of people were like, oh, first year breakdancing in the Olympics, breaking. And I was like, I have to watch this, right?
Yeah.
And wow, was it so good. Y'all go, you gotta watch the breaking. It's so funny, I didn't see any of the men's because I feel like the women's was trending. And when I turned on Peacock one day, like, it was just the women's breaking.
Yeah.
They call them B-girls and B-boys. So they're like, oh, B-girl 621. There was a B-girl 321. And my favorite B-girl, Mika, she's from Lithuania. She was so good. She's like this tiny white girl who, like, wears a do-rag.
Wait, what? I'm trying to picture this look. I'm like, I might need to look her up.
B-girl Mika is so good. I love B-girl Mika. She won the...
I'm screaming B-girl Mika. The name is wild.
She won the silver. She lost to Japan's B-girl Ami. But wow, you gotta watch B-girl Mika. She's so good. There was also controversy with women's breaking because apparently, like, Australia is an Australian B-girl, like, was dancing wild, and everyone was like, how did she qualify for the Olympics?
Shady. I'm like, are we on Bravo?
Yeah. Ooh. The Australian Rachel Gunn, B-girl.
Raygun?
B-girl Raygun. Everyone is coming for our online. Go look up B-girl Rachel Raygun. It's so funny. It's iconic. Go watch it. So lots of goodness happening with the women's breaking. I loved it. So entertaining. I was like watching it. I was dancing. I was like, this is so good. I really enjoyed it.
Not to just give all the props to Peacock, but I will say my favorite moments was just like the ease of streaming on it. You put on Peacock and they quickly had it all right there. They're just like, yeah, perfect. Watch.
I really liked the quad box. Yeah.
I didn't do that.
I did the quad box.
But I heard that was good. I heard the gold zone was good with like Scott Hansen from Red Zone, like taking people to the various gold medal opportunities. Like, they really went for it with the programming. It's impressive.
Yes. And something else I really loved because in the quad box, they just show you what's happening, so they show you a bunch of different events. I also saw artistic swimming. I feel like a lot of people were talking about artistic swimming.
Oh my gosh. What's that?
And it's when like
synchronized swimming?
A bit, but it's, a big group, maybe like 6 or 7 girls, and they're dressed in like these amazing outfits, and their hair is like slicked back and like designed, and they're wearing beautiful makeup, and they're like dancing. They're doing these performances in the water. It's unbelievable. Watch artistic swimming. It was so good.
Gosh, there's so many.
There's so many great events. Artistic swimming was so fun, and the women are just like gorgeous and so talented. They're like doing lifts and spins, and it's like cheerleading in a pool. That's kind of what it is. It was so cool. I watched the pole vault too. That was in the quad box. I loved the pole vault. Like, it was so cool watching these women
impressive.
throw themselves in the air over.
It's like hard. I'm like, how do you get your body to move in those motions? So impressive.
Did you hear about surfing this year?
Yeah, it was in French Polynesia.
Yes, it was in Tahiti. Surfing was in Tahiti.
And
on the other side of the world.
Got to be there as the commentator.
Oh, I didn't know.
Lucky him. They were basically using all the NBC talent.
There was at one of the basketball games, I think they kept on showing Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, all the NBC talent were out and about.
I was like, of course. Yes, and in Tahiti, all the athletes were staying on a cruise ship. I heard that, and I was like, that's interesting. That's fun.
Wow.
Yeah, but I don't. And it was, if you watched it, I watched a little bit of it. It was so beautiful and so picturesque. It was cool. What did you think of the opening and closing ceremonies?
Well, one of my least favorite moments is the opening ceremony. It was way too long. It was like 4 hours. And all I wanted to see was the American boat. You know, like the proud American I am. I just want to see the American boat.
Our bearers.
Yes.
LeBron and Coco Gauff.
I mean, wow. Tell you, Black people really just thriving.
Right.
You love to see it. Bearing the American flag. Well, that's right, yes. So I wanted to see that, right? I wanted to see them. It was history being made with them being the flag bearers. But the U.S. boat was in the last boats, and I didn't know that. So I'm like watching this, and I kept pausing, fast forwarding, and doing other things. And then finally the U.S. boat came. And then it was like, oh yeah, they're going to light the torch. They literally had people running around Paris passing the torch to different athletes. And they finally lit the torch. It was beautiful once it happened, but it was a lot. And then they also had like a lot of random things. Like they had a masked figure running around Paris, different sites with the torch. And I'm like, what's the point? It felt like Paris, it's an artistic place. It was like they're being too artistic. It was confusing. It was pouring rain while all this was happening. So people looked miserable. It was cold. Sometimes it was hard to see what was going on. It's like, wow. Just think they did too much.
We had Celine Dion perform.
I heard amazing. That was a highlight.
Kelly Clarkson was in tears.
Yes.
Lady Gaga performed. It's kind of random. Like, why
she's not French
performing in France? And did you hear about like the drag queen controversy?
Yeah, about the table.
Yes, and how it like some people were saying it referenced the Last Supper, and like people got offended by that, and like. There was a drag queen who was on RuPaul's Drag Race who was a part of that performance and like threatening to sue, certain people online who were like calling them pedophiles, all this stuff. Like it was a big mess.
Wait, why were they calling them pedophiles?
Because, some conservative people, they were like, why are these pedophiles on my TV? So there was a whole controversy with that. And they also, I didn't watch the whole ceremony. I saw clips, but I heard that there was like an allusion to a menage a trois and like a sex scene. Did you hear about that?
No, but again, it's like honestly, I just think they were doing too much.
Yeah. Like I heard people were like, what is that?
Going over people's heads, confusing, it was probably too artistic.
And what did you think of the Seine River controversy and how people were like pooping in the river and how some people got sick after
you should
competing
not
and
have
swimming?
An event in your river if it's not clean.
Right.
Like, no event should happen in the Hudson River, New York. Everyone knows dead bodies are there and
that would
sewage.
Not be good.
And then the fact that the mayor went in to try and make it seem like it was safe.
Yeah, and then local Parisians were, defecating and peeing in it, to troll the mayor. And
literally,
not good.
Not good for the athletes. Like, find a different place to host the event.
Yeah, and apparently people, got sick after swimming in it. So
it's insane.
Not good.
And speaking of controversies, something else that was kind of icky was in the women boxing tournament. There were these 2 women who outwardly are more male presenting, but are women. And classic, the Elon Musk of the world, were tweeting like, why do you have men competing in women's sports? And it became that whole thing. No, these are women competing in a women's sport. Just because they might not present how you think a woman should look doesn't mean they're not women.
Right. And that speaks to what we were talking about before. Like, women of all shapes and sizes were like thriving and winning gold
Yes.
medals and being celebrated. And I love seeing that because I was like, yes, like we can be strong and look like this and be amazing and be celebrated for that. So it's just, haters gonna hate. Could they get a gold medal? Could they compete in the Olympics?
Is Elon Musk talented enough for that?
No, they can't.
He's not very athletic.
They cannot make it to the
Olympics. Even though he wanted to box Mark Zuckerberg. He's not very athletic.
No.
Another thing I'll say that was, I don't know, was least favorite moment, but it was interesting. They had like bizarre people like commentating or as ambassadors. Like the fact that it was like Peyton Manning, Mike Tirico, and Kelly Clarkson leading the opening ceremony. Strange.
Interesting.
Yeah, strange trio.
Interesting.
And then I love that Snoop Dogg is getting so much love for the fact that him and Martha Stewart were just all over Paris, like doing stuff. It's strange.
Yeah, when did Snoop Dogg become the ambassador
for like
of the US?
Yeah.
It just, I agree. It just felt very bizarre. I was like, why is Snoop Dogg doing so much? In regards to the closing ceremony, what did you think of Tom Cruise jumping off the top of a Parisian stadium?
So American.
American.
Tom Cruise is the American of all Americans.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and that was so bizarre.
LA 28, Hollywood, baby. It's perfect. That actually did make sense to me.
Yeah.
Should we move to our game?
I think we should.
Game time. Red flag, green flag. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, Shelby.
Yes.
Is it a red flag to bench a famous player on your team?
Ooh. So this is in relation to Steve Kerr not really playing Jason Tatum on the USA men's basketball team. Did you hear about this controversy?
No, I didn't.
So basically, the USA men's basketball team is an all-star team of 12 players. There are only 40 minutes in the game. It's going to be hard to play everyone how they normally play, right? It's like all these players are the best people on their teams, and now they're all on this all-star team. Jason Tatum, who's like the best player on the Celtics, he's now with all these other best players and is going to have a diminished role, right? They all are. Steph Curry's not going to be in his like normal role that he is with the Warriors. So I think that's part of it. But Jason Tatum didn't play in 2 games and then only played like a few minutes in others. And all of NBA Twitter in the world was freaking out. Stephen A came out saying that Steve Kerr is being insulting to Jason Tatum, who just won the NBA Finals. Like, people were going in on Steve Kerr, saying that he has a vendetta against the Celtics. It's insulting to Jason Tatum. Like, Tatum's not going to want to play for the Olympics again. All this stuff. He literally has LeBron and Steph Curry and Kevin Durant and all these players on his team. It's like a embarrassment of riches. Like, he's going to have to make hard decisions on who to play. And they wanted to give the veterans their shine and due because it's probably LeBron, Steph, and KD's last Olympics. So I was fine with it. I'm a big Curry fan, so I wanted him to, to get his shine, get his due. I think it's not a red flag if you're really trying to do it to like win and, do the best you can be. Even when Tatum did play, he didn't play that well, Like, he was having an off, few games.
Yeah.
So I think people overreacted, and I think it's hard to be a coach of a super team. Like, you have all these good players.
Yeah, and it's like, they won the gold, you got your gold medal, relax.
Yeah, everyone in Boston can come down.
Yes.
Okay, Laura, question for you. Is it a green flag to predict your win? Like Noah Lyles did?
No, it's not a green flag. I think confidence is good, but I think, Noah Lyles is a bit cocky.
Just a little.
And being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna win the gold. You don't hear Simone Biles saying that, right? Like, if you're that good, you don't need to tell people that you're that good, right? So let your talent speak for yourself.
Agreed.
So no, I don't think it's a green flag. Sorry, Noah Lyles.
100%. Be a bit more humble. So overall, how are we feeling about the Olympics? Is it a wait or watch?
Definitely a watch. And as someone who, when the Olympics came up, I had a lot of friends who were like, oh my gosh, like we're gonna all watch. And I watched with some friends throughout the week and it was really fun. It's really enjoyable. I got into it, as the days went on and I really enjoyed it. It was so fun and it was emotional anytime, especially like,
oh my gosh, I was getting emotional watching some
an
of these
American
wins.
woman, especially like American Black woman winning. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, she really
seeing their family cheer in the stands.
Right? It's so emotional. I just really loved watching it. It's so funny how the Olympics happen during election years, right? Every 4 years. I feel like this is something we definitely needed right now as a country, right? Like, girl, with assassination attempts, like, just a lot going on
it gave
in the
us
U.S.
the
right
wholesome
now.
content.
Yes.
Where we were all able to feel patriotic, which has kind of become like a charged word.
Yeah.
That conservatives like to use to make it seem like they're more American than others. But it's like, no, everyone's patriotic. Like, the USA men's basketball team is all black. They're all patriotic, right? They're playing for their country. Like, it really was a way to bring America together. Like, I kid you not, I've never seen so many people be like, USA, USA. Everyone was into it. It was a great 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed it. And like we said, go back, go watch women's breaking, go watch the highlights, like all the Noah Lyles races, that photo finish for the 100.
So good.
Like, you gotta watch those highlights for sure.
And in terms of what to watch next, the Winter Olympics in 2026 are going to be in Milan, Italy.
Ooh, fun.
I don't really care for winter sports, so I doubt I'll be tuning in.
Ice skating. I like the ice skating.
Oh, you know what?
Ice skating's fun.
Yeah. I, Tanya.
Yes. yes. I think ice skating is fun. I do like watching that.
Yes, that's right. Maybe I'll catch a little bit of the... And then LA28, baby! Summer Olympics are going to be in 2028.
Woo.
In Los Angeles. Woo!
Yes. God. Shelby and I will definitely be attending.
Yes. Can't wait.
For sure. And who knows, maybe we'll be commentating. I don't know.
Yes. Maybe we'll have Kelly Clarkson's job.
Who knows?
Be the new Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart.
I can't. I'll never do it. Who knows? It's possible. It's possible.
Of course, right? There's a lot of stuff on social media. I've been, following all the funny memes that people have been posting. Any, tier drama. Keep tabs, people. You gotta be on it.
Yes. The Jordan Child situation is still developing. The U.S. filed an appeal. It seemed like it didn't work. But, it seems like there's still a lot of moving
pieces. Could be like breaking news.
Yes.
Still to come. If you want to watch like sports-related shows, we started watching Mr. Throwback on Peacock. It's like the new Steph Curry, Adam Pally show. It's only 30-minute episodes, and it's 6 episodes total. So, quick watch, easy, and it's surprisingly funny.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, we've been enjoying it. And then, of course, like Hard Knocks for you football fans. And if you like Simone Biles, her hubby, what's his name?
Jonathan Owens.
Jonathan Owens is on it because they're covering the Chicago Bears. So if you want to see him, and Simone makes a cameo or two in the first episode. So that's fun.
Woo, Jonathan Owens, everyone's favorite.
I know, he's a lot of fans out there.
I know, and I felt like he was front and center, like anytime Simone was doing anything. He was always like, yeah, and like taking videos. I was like, okay, it seems like he's overcompensating.
But speaking of football, flag football is going to be an Olympic sport in 2028.
Yes.
So that's exciting.
Who needs to be on that team?
Jalen Hurts.
I was thinking that too.
Please.
Definitely got to put Jalen Hurts on that team.
And hopefully America cleans up in that.
I'd be shocked if we didn't. Yes, and Simone Biles does have a documentary on Netflix right now, too.
Yes.
That a lot of people I know have been watching and enjoying. So if you want more Simone Biles content,
go watch it out. Go support her.
Yes, and if you enjoyed this episode of Sisters Who Watch, make sure you give us 5 stars wherever you listen. 5 stars on Apple, Spotify, all platforms, and make sure you're following us on our social media at Sisters Who Watch, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn. We're there. Go support us at Sisters Who Watch, and go buy our merch. You can also support us by listener support on Spotify, and you can Zelle us sisterswhowatch@gmail.com. Yeah, so go send us some love.
Yes, and we want to hear from y'all, so you can comment now on Spotify. You can also comment on our social media posts, our YouTube posts, and of course, email us at sisterswhowatch@gmail.com. Give us some feedback or recommendations on what we should watch next. Thank you, y'all. Stay watching.
Bye.
Everything.
Au revoir.